What if I told you that after 2026, political power in India could change, not because of elections, but because of population? A process called delimitation could shift influence between different regions. South Indian states like Tamil Nadu and Karnataka are already raising concerns, while North Indian states may gain more political weight. So, is this a fair democratic correction, or a growing imbalance? Let's understand this in simple terms. Delimitation means redrawing constituency boundaries and reallocating seats in parliament based on population. In a democracy, every vote should have equal value. So if population increases in certain regions, those regions should ideally get more representation in the Lok Sabha. The goal is simple: fair and equal representation across the Indian population. Delimitation in India is based on Articles 82 and 170 of the Constitution of India. For this process, the Indian government forms a delimitation commission, an independent body whose decisions are final and cannot be challenged in court. This ensures neutrality and prevents political interference. The process begins after the census. First, population data of the Indian population is collected. Then seats are allocated to each state. After that, constituency boundaries are redrawn so that each area represents roughly equal population. India has conducted delimitation exercises from 1952, but in 1976, the Indian government froze seat distribution based on the 1971 census to promote population control. This freeze continues until 2026. After 2026, this freeze will end. Currently, India has 543 Lok Sabha seats. With new delimitation, seats may be redistributed based on updated Indian population data. For example, Uttar Pradesh already has 80 seats, the highest in India, and could gain even more. Now let's look at the situation of South Indian states. Tamil Nadu has 39 seats and Karnataka has 28 seats in the Lok Sabha. These states have successfully controlled population growth through better education, healthcare, and family planning policies. However, if seats are redistributed purely based on population, their overall share may decrease compared to North Indian states. Tamil Nadu currently holds about 7.2% of Lok Sabha seats, and Karnataka about 5.1%. Even if their total seats remain similar, their influence in national decisions may reduce. This creates a concern that South Indian states are being penalized for effective governance and population control, despite contributing significantly to economic growth and tax revenues. On the other hand, North Indian states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar have higher population growth. From their perspective. So while South Indian states fear losing influence, North Indian states see this as a fair and necessary correction. This leads to a major debate. Should representation be based strictly on population, or should states that controlled population growth be protected? The principle of equality supports population-based representation. But fairness suggests that states should not be disadvantaged for following national policies like population control. Political reactions have already begun. Leaders from Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam have strongly opposed any reduction in representation of South Indian states. In Karnataka, activists have raised similar concerns. Political voices in Kerala have also warned about imbalance in representation. This issue is also connected to larger debates like language politics, especially concerns about Hindi influence, federal balance between states and the center, and fair distribution of resources. So, is delimitation necessary or problematic? It is necessary for democracy because representation must reflect population. But it also raises serious concerns about fairness and regional balance. The real challenge for the Indian government is to balance population-based representation with equal political voice for all regions. So think about this: should political power depend only on population, or should development and governance also matter?